Hi there. I'm John, and I'm here at home with my wife, Debbie.
Hi there, I am John's recovery coach. I help John through his hospitalization and his recovery journey.
I'm getting back to normal now after my hospitalization, playing with the grandkids and getting back to doing things outside on my own. The hospitalization and the recovery journey were not easy, but having a recovery coach to help me through it really made a difference. But before I get into all of that, I want to tell you about what happened to me. It all started when I had some pain. I was short of breath and I felt dizzy. I knew something was just not right. Debbie took me to the emergency room and it was really busy there. They did a few tests and asked a lot of questions. After a while, I had no idea how long we were there. The doctor came back and said I would be staying in the hospital. I felt nervous and anxious about it, and we waited for a room to be ready for me, and that took a long time. At last, I moved to the hospital room.
The healthcare team helped John settle in, but I could tell he was in pain and maybe was confused about where he was. I mentioned this to the nurse. I didn't know what else to do. But then I remembered the videos I watched about helping John while he was in the hospital. I started talking to him, reminding him of what happened, the time and date, and where he was. I reminded him that he might be uncomfortable, and we talked about deep breathing to become calm.
When Debbie started to talk to me, it really helped me remember what had happened. I felt safe. The nurse reassured me too, but having Debbie there really helped. Over the next few days, sometimes I would feel confused or had a hard time focusing on one thing.
When John told me he was having a hard time focusing, I remembered that the videos I watched talked about a thing called delirium. And I remembered that to help John through his recovery, I should talk to him often, play games, look through pictures, and recount stories of our life together to keep him focused.
One thing that bothered me a lot when I was in the hospital was the noise and the stuff on my body. I had a blood pressure cuff that got tight so often. I had a thing on my finger that measures the oxygen in my blood and wires on my chest that connected to a monitor. I also had a tube in my arm called an IV, giving me fluids, but I didn't like it. Debbie and the nurse helped me understand what all these things were, and as soon as I didn't need them, they took them away. And that was a good moment.
I could tell that the equipment was bothering John. I remembered those delirium videos, and I kept talking to him like I did before, reminding him of what happened, the time and date, and where he was. We did some deep breathing together, and I think it really helped. I could sometimes tell that John wasn't comfortable.
Sometimes, that's for sure. I was achy and tired. I couldn't get comfortable. Debbie reminded me of the tips she got from that Recovery Club website. The things that helped me the most were closing my eyes, breathing deeply, and picturing I was at home or in a quiet place. I also helped my body relax by closing my eyes and squeezing different muscles. Music helped too. Wow, a lot of things helped. Anything that moves your attention away from that discomfort you're feeling, that's what you need.
The healthcare team helped too, when I was there or when I was away.
Yeah, they did. They really did. You know, getting active in the hospital helped me recover, and it can help you too. It isn't easy though. I felt tired, weak, and uncomfortable, but I made a goal to be active because I wanted to get out of there and back to my life. When I stood up, I was dizzy sometimes, so I made sure that the nurses were with me when I did that. I did exercises in bed and in a chair, and then I walked in the hall with the nurses. You know, that recovery club really has some great tips.
It was really hard for John to move around at first. These videos helped me to coach him on taking his time, breathing deeply, and distracting him with conversation.
I want to tell you that getting a good night's sleep in the hospital is tough. Just when I would fall asleep, someone would be in to check on me, and it was really noisy and bright. At bedtime, I wore my eye mask and I put in earplugs, and that helped a lot. I found that having a cup of hot milk or tea right before bedtime helped me too. Even though it might be tempting to sleep during the day, it's important to keep your normal schedule and be up and awake. Short naps are okay to help you gain back energy, but otherwise, being up is important. If you're still having a hard time sleeping, tell your healthcare team. They may have other things that could help. I was real happy when I was able to leave the hospital and continue my recovery at home. I wanted to make this video to help you understand what it was like, so you can recover faster too. There is nothing better than being in the recovery club, and I hope that it helps you as much as it helped me.
The Recovery Club tips helped me help John. Your recovery coach might be one of your family members, or it could be a friend or a neighbor too. Basically, anyone that is willing to be there for you while you are in the hospital can be your recovery coach.
While you're in the hospital, if you begin to feel confused or have a hard time focusing, it's important to tell your family or the healthcare team right away. This will help stop delirium and will speed your recovery. Now, if you have other questions about your hospitalization, your recovery, or joining the recovery club, be sure to write those down so that we can make sure you get those answered by your healthcare team. We wish you the best, and welcome to the club.